second of did that really just happen before you just
No, I
because you
thought it was,
accepted
yeah.
it very fast.
Yep. Yeah, I accepted it. Wait, you did what did you do last week? It was Fly Me to the Moon?
Yeah, fly me to the moon because the first week I did, you got me under my
Oh,
skin.
okay. Come fly with me, let's fly away. If you can use some exotic booze, there's a bar in far Bombay. Come fly with me, we'll float down to Peru. In Llama Land, there's a one-man band and he'll toot his flute for you. It's perfect for a flying honeymoon, they say. I heard the trumpets in my head, so I had to let them have their
You have
solo.
to pause and let them have their time. I understand.
Yeah. So, welcome back.
Welcome back. That was not the song I was thinking you were gonna do.
No, what did you think I was gonna do?
I thought you were gonna do Somewhere
Oh yeah. See, I was.
Beyond the Sea.
So here was my thing. Because you had already hit the fly, I was like, all right, we'll do Fly Me to the Moon, and then I was gonna. So part of me wants to do. All right, our challenge is gonna be we sing a song that has at least one word related to the previous song.
Oh, so that's gonna be the challenge?
So yeah, that's gonna be the challenge from now on. Is whenever we start a stream, the current song has to have at least one word in common in the title from the previous song. So yeah, right. So you did Fly Me to the Moon. I did Come Fly with Me. Welcome all. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you greatly.
Welcome.
If so we'll probably talk about it more in depth a little bit later, but we're gonna have to talk about the story that I put up on my Instagram to tell people about about today's stream.
Shout out your Instagram so people can go look at it.
It is at LoboKid. Oh, that's right. So when we switched back over to Streamlabs, that's one thing that I didn't do. Let's go ahead and do that now.
Well, if anything, we could just put it in the comments and then pin it, right? Can't we?
I don't think you can really pin comments. Although I can probably set up a chat bot thing to tell people our things, our handles. But on Instagram, it's just at LoboKid. LOBOKIDD. But yeah, I climbed the thing, and I am generally not the most athletic, but it was fun. And I also fell, but you don't see it on the first in the first screen. It's gonna be behind the scenes. I'm gonna post that later on today, because sometimes you just gotta keep on going. You just
That video was a perfect example of perseverance. Like one thing didn't work. You don't mourn it. You don't get sad about it. You just move on to the next thing. We don't have time. You just
as anybody from our generation could tell you, anybody got time for that?
Nobody got time for that.
Shoes? Fuck shoes. Tell him what you told me. Anyway, yeah, sorry. As we break up into a random Dane Cook
reference.
Yeah, I explained it. Just some random Dane Cook joke from a long time ago. About
yes.
Yeah, he basically. So yeah, the joke is, this is our podcast, ladies and gentlemen. The joke is, he's like, we all hear when a car is coming down the road too fast, and we're like, I right? Like, we don't want anybody to actually get hurt. We're just like, I want that motherfucker to crash. He basically says. And we always hear the like the brakes. And we're like, ah, fuck, so close. But when it actually hits, nobody's ever ready. So you're running around like you could be in the middle of washing dishes or something. Like, oh, fuck, where are my shoes? Where are my shoes? You know what? Fuck shoes. I'm going out there. And you just leave your house without shoes. So there we go. That's the joke explained and ruined.
Not ruined.
How goes it, man? How is everyone? Who's here? Who are you? I care about you and I appreciate you.
I'm doing well.
Good.
Just prepping for this trip. The funniest thing about this trip is that I have very, very close friends of mine that I'll usually tell things. And one of them called me out when I went over to their house because I was hanging out, and they said, "Why is it that I had to find out that you were going to Hawaii from your podcast? You supposed to tell me those things."
Well,
he watched back the recording, like the YouTube video of one of our podcasts, and he was like, "Why? Yeah, I gave you that view. I watched the whole 2 hours.
Yo,
why didn't you tell me?"
Shout him out right now. I appreciate you. I send you
boy
kisses.
Gabe, bro.
Gabe is the truth, bro. He's always been the truth.
Gabe, dog.
Gabe is
a real one.
Yeah, I fuck with Gabe. Gabe, shout out to you. You may not be watching now, but you may be watching in the future. Ha! I care about you. I miss you.
Shout out to his wife Lily. She just went through the gastric bypass surgery, I think it is.
Is that okay? Is that okay to just talk about? Is she all right with that? Is she all right with you spreading her information like that? It's kind of rude.
Well, she went. It may be a little bit. Hey, I already did it. So best of luck with recovery.
Job. All right, you got this.
Best of luck with recovery. Know that we're thinking about you.
You gonna fuck that gastric bypass up? You out here.
I don't even know if that's the name of the surgery. I might have said the whole surgery wrong. I just know it's surgery.
Triple bypass. That's a heart surgery, I think.
Yeah, I know that one's wrong.
Anyway, yeah, let's bypass that awkward part of the conversation. Heyo.
Segway King, Lobo Kid.
Yeah,
Segway.
Nah, and we're out. I see, which is weird because I do a lot of non sequiturs. I'll just say shit that doesn't connect to itself at all either. Anyway.
Hilarious.
How's your week, man? How's it going? Hey, if you're in chat, feel free to join in. Tell us about your week.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
My week has been pretty chill. Just working, coming home. I went out the other night with some friends. That was cool. But yeah, nothing really to report. Just literally the most interesting thing happening in my personal life right now is this trip coming up. That's about it.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. My plants are dying, and I feel like a failing plant papa. So I'm supposed to be getting some bonsai soil for Larry, because Larry's still around, but his leaves are shriveling up. I think there's too much water in his pot, so hopefully this plant soil gets here so I can switch it out. Yeah, bonsai, man, they're not the same as other plants. I don't fuck with that extra, that extra water shit. They'd be like, and they freak out. They do that kid, little kids when they get angry and they squeeze their heads and they shake. It's like that. That's what I imagine it's like. Yeah, because his leaves are really shriveled up. But he lasted for so long. I've had him for 3 months, but he still looks so thin. I think it's because I had the wrong kind of soil to begin with. But other than that, I know
growing bonsais is an art. Like, I remember it being like a thing that they would use for training.
It takes time. It's because it takes. I imagine it's because it takes patience, and you have to visualize what you're doing. It's been cool though. I enjoy trying to keep these plants alive, because I know I am not ready to keep another human or a pet alive. Keep
Just
my,
don't
yeah.
put any living beings in my responsibility.
Yeah,
No
like
living
I
creatures.
can take care of them in short bursts. A couple hour stints, maybe a full day, maybe a couple days. I don't know
Like,
about I don't know about extended period. I
hey,
only kept this thing alive for 3 months.
hey, Lobo, can you watch my dog for me?
Nope.
All right, but 2 hours is all you get, and that's not because I don't want to do longer than 2 hours. It's for your
I
pet safety. 2 hours, come get your dog.
I pull up a handy dandy notebook like Steve and go through and find my page on dogs and say, big dog or small dog? Ooh, that you got about 15 minutes. I give you a solid 15 minutes.
Come back in 15 minutes. That dog's on his last legs. Like if it does not eat something right now, it's gonna be done.
How did he get so hungry in 15 minutes?
Man, we said 15 minutes. I just don't say things for no reason.
Yeah, look, I kept him alive. All right. Once he goes past 15 minutes, that's on you. So you take him now or you leave him with me.
You see how it has the 4 limbs still? You should be thanking me.
Which I feel like really makes me seem like I'm much worse at taking care of things than I actually am. I would just like to state that most of the things we say here are hyperbole, and I would prefer if you not judge us on the emphasis of on the basis of our jokes.
The funniest thing is that you saying that most of our jokes are hyperbole will then prompt some people to try to figure out which ones aren't.
Yeah,
and
right.
which ones
Yeah,
are.
I feel like that's the best thing, right? Is that most of them are. Good luck finding out which ones.
There's no way of knowing which
Yeah,
ones.
right. Fuck, where's the zoom button? I wish there was like a you could press I could press a hotkey and like
There
zoom
has
into
to
our
be.
eyes or something.
There has to be. Like if you ever end up getting one of those like boards
like a
that have like
Stream
all the
Deck?
buttons. Yeah,
That's
there would definitely
fancy.
be a zoom option.
Pretty fancy.
It'd be
Oh
a
man.
zoom option, and then I want remember the squirrel meme from back in the day where it would zoom in on the squirrel? That one. And I want the sound that comes with that.
Dun dun dun! I was just thinking of that
like
too.
That. Just like that.
Oh, that's great. You know, I could record that as like a voice thing, and like it chop it up a little bit in Pro Tools. I feel like that'd be really funny.
Oh, please do. That'd be so great. We could do so many jokes with that.
Oh, and so your animated emote is an actual emote. Yeah, it's an actual emote now.
Oh my god, that's amazing!
And we also have it in Better TTV. It's I think it's not. Ooh.
I remember when you first saw me do that. You completely broke character.
I died, man. That was so good. I'm trying to remember how to do it.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it was a funny moment from a video that Ralph and I made a while back when we were roommates. Which is kind of the basis of what Working Title was always supposed to be about. Is just us talking shit, coming up with ideas, and fucking.
I feel like if me and you had like the funding to just make a creative endeavor, it'd be really cool.
Funding. That's the magic word.
No, that's what I'm saying. If a company came to us and said, "Here's $1 million, give us a season or something," it'd be a good season.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, not probably. Definitely.
It'd be a good season.
Probably hash that out in like.
It'd be a mix of this is extremely entertaining and what's wrong with these people.
I feel like that's I have to I just have to agree with that. I feel like that is the most apt assessment that can be made at the moment.
That shit is entertaining as shit. But what is wrong with
Yeah,
these
what
two?
the
We gotta
fuck is
talk to
going
them.
on? Are you guys okay?
That's gonna be the conversation that people. That's gonna be the interview conversation after our premiere. Great job. Are you guys okay?
Yeah. Oh shit! Honestly, that makes me itch to write more for the comic book. So uh I won't reveal anything that Ralph isn't comfortable revealing, but Ralph and I have been working on like a comic series slash little universe for a while now.
Oh yeah.
And there's there's been progress in the last couple in the last couple weeks slash months, and I'm starting to get hungry to start writing again.
Oh
So
yeah.
I've been having some ideas. Like Ralph, I sent you like a page that I wrote real quick while
Mhm.
at work to add to some fleshing out to the universe, and it's kind of fun.
Honestly, it is really cool. Like making a character story is fun, of course, but like making like a living, breathing universe that feels viable and that you can create new characters from, it's a really cool thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, because once you like set the standard for it, it's like, oh, I can just make this character and this character, and you can like wedge them in different parts, and then like if you like a character concept, you can flesh them out, like maybe intertwine their story with another character's story. So it's just cool stuff like that.
yeah. I always think sort of taking the time to look at the potential connections that any one character might have,
Hmm.
that immediately gives you access to dozens of other stories. You know,
Hmm.
anybody that your character meets can be affected by your character and
Hmm.
essentially have their own story right off the back of that.
What thing I find very interesting about like writing in general, especially when it comes to like multiple characters interacting with each other, and I love how we're being very specific and vague at the same time.
Mm.
We've given no specifics of what we've been writing, but we're just talking about general concepts.
Yeah.
So, what I like is the idea of two characters interacting, and the initial interaction may make it seem like it's going to go in a certain direction. And that's always interesting to me because it's like, do I give the reader what they're
Yeah.
expecting
Do
based
you?
off how
Yeah.
this interaction started,
Do you?
or
Yeah.
do I subvert expectations and do something completely
Yeah.
different?
Yeah. I feel like an interest something that we, or at least I, and I'm sure that you would want to as well. I want to do something interesting when playing with
Hmm.
people's expectations, right? Because
Yeah.
there are so many story tropes,
Um,
and things that we expect to happen when certain things happen. And yeah, of course, you know, we you don't want to completely break the norm, because if you're working in a way that doesn't actually have results or doesn't create a compelling story, then
hmm.
it doesn't matter. Nobody's gonna read it. It's
True.
not gonna, it's not gonna, nobody's gonna be like, oh man, this was really tough to get through, but I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
Like half the time, you might get a couple people like that, but you're more likely to have to use that as an opportunity to learn, really.
Uh, that's why I like, as much as they did not land a dismount, Game of Thrones is a really good example of just the idea of that unsurety as you're watching the show. Because they made it clear very early on that just because a character is a beloved character does not mean they're staying on the show.
Yeah, that's very true.
So like you had this unsurety as you're watching the show, just like, okay, I like this character, but I don't know if I should really connect with them because they might die.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's not a fear that you have with a lot of shows. Like with most shows, it's like if I have my main character and they're making this character likable and they're giving them story, this
Yeah.
character's gonna stick around for a while.
Oh, look, there's a bunch of seasons or a lot of issues. That means that this character is there for a long time.
Hmm.
Yeah, you know what
Like
though? What if we just start a series where the main character changes all the time? Because they
that's
just
Doctor
keep
Who.
dying. Well, no, but it's like it's not like an inherited thing. Like it's not an
Oh,
inherited position. It's just this person was affected by the last person, and now we're following them. Yeah, like,
that's interesting too.
and then this character dies, but their like nephew or something that really enjoyed being around them. Now we're following that person's life, and I feel
See,
like, go ahead.
no, no, go ahead, finish because
No, I
you
was
still
just
have
gonna
your thought.
say, I think that with the universe that we're building, we can
Hmm.
technically do that.
We really could do something like that with the universe we're building. Hello, three viewers, whoever you are, feel
What's
free to
up? What's up?
comment.
What's
And
up?
we're having like a writers' room discussion right now. This is very writers' room esque. Um, but yeah, like the idea of like mantles being passed and everything is it's something that can be difficult, very much so. Like because I think of the Peter Parker to Miles Morales passing of the torch. If that wasn't done in a very like they did it very well in Into the Spider Verse in the movie
Yeah.
because we developed Miles. They took the time with Miles. Miles didn't get his suit to like three quarters. Yeah, 3 quarters into the film, which is not a normal thing when it
Yeah.
comes to superhero
He
stuff.
was, yeah, he was wearing a fake.
Yeah, the
He
whole
was.
time, and it was a nice metaphor for him like trying to be what he wasn't, and then finally stepped into what is
Yeah.
and who he was.
Yeah.
So, because like you don't have to do it the same way I did it. You find your own way of doing it.
Yeah.
But that's a hard thing to pull off because comics have tried it a couple times. It didn't work as well in the comics. People didn't like Morales like that. They gave him more personality in the film, and they tried to do it with Iron Man to Ironheart, Riri Williams. People still hate her in the comics.
Oof. Mm.
That's a
Yeah.
that's
I
a
feel like, it's one of those things that it's not it's not easy to do a transition, like to do a handoff, really,
yeah.
because you have so many people that are still attached to that initial character that
Hmm.
I mean, it's difficult for you to just up and transition those feelings of affection to that second one. Exactly, yeah. 'Cause people don't like change.
They don't like change.
When you've spent time building a relationship with this one character, to
Hmm.
have like for you to be told that they're dispensable for the sake of the story, like that, people don't like that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, people don't like change, but some of the most amazing stories have come from change. You can't
Yeah,
have a story without change
yeah,
in it. It's like it's like feeding people medicine that they know they need but don't want. And
yeah,
but once the medicine affects them, they're like, "Oh, that's great." But then there's this little interim between you
yeah.
giving them the medicine and the medicine affecting them, where you're like that unsurety, like, is this gonna click the way
Uncertainty,
I need
yeah.
it to?
And it's like, yeah, it really is sort of a thin balance, or a
Yeah.
thin line, where you have to sort of cross every once in a while and say, all right, things are
Love, you're
cool.
staticking a little bit.
uh, things are cool, everything's all right, and then it switches, and then it comes back. And you got to jump over to shit's crazy, shit's crazy, shit's crazy. All right, we're good. Everything's okay.
Yeah,
Everything's okay. Everything's okay. All
but
right.
during that shit's crazy moment, you don't know if everything's gonna be okay. That's the scary
Yeah.
part. Because that whole shit's crazy, shit's crazy. Oh, we fucked up after we ended it. After we get out on the other side of it, or it could be it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
You just have to keep that confidence and consistency during the shit's crazy thing, and
Yeah,
hope
for
for the
sure.
best. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Uh. Yeah. I don't know.
and we're both new writers. We're gonna learn a lot as we go on this
Yeah.
journey.
I want to do more reading. I did, what was it, the humble bundle that that Victor let me know about.
Nice, nice.
About like writing for comics, but I also it seemed like a lot of it was about drawing comics,
Mm.
and I never really considered myself to be an artist or to even attempt art really, but I really think that I should try.
Lobo reads us a story.
I will read you honestly, honestly that could be pretty cool. We'll do story time once a week, and
Story time.
we
Oh
pick a book, and I'll just read it to the
the whole book.
yeah, I'll read the whole book.
The whole book.
The
Okay.
whole book.
We'll start with the Harry Potter series. We'll have time for it.
Yeah, if I can find my books, I think they're gone.
Oh
Ooh, we do a
man.
comic book series. I actually have some. I think I started the Hawkman series, the Hawkman run. I think it's the New 52 run. I'm not sure right
Right.
now, honestly. Uh,
I'm currently reading the Static Run, which has been great. It's like 3 or 4 issues in. It's been wonderful.
nice. I used to have a comic book shop near where I lived that I would go to like every couple weeks to see if they had any new issues of the stuff that I was reading. I was reading the Invader Zim comic book series. I
Nice.
was picking up the yeah. This was around the time that um, the Rick and Morty D&D comic book series was coming out, and that thing it was really good.
Really good. Good.
I picked up and I'll have to double check, but I think I picked up like the regular version of each issue and then the alternative art cover version of each issue to not open and just
Okay.
save like to
And
for a
that's the smart
collectible
thing to do.
because
That's the smart
they
thing to
look they
do.
also looked really cool. They had the character sheets for each of them.
If you give me a second, I might be able to show the stream something that I have.
and and
Yes, I do.
the place shut down before the fourth issue came out, so I wasn't able to snag it all, unfortunately. You're muted again. He be coming back with some words.
Hello, hello, hello.
There we go.
All right.
Dang, that
So
was quick. Look at that recovery. It's like we're
quick, we don't got
professionals.
time.
Ain't nobody got time for
So
that.
not long ago, a new character was introduced to the Spider Universe named Spider Gwen. She was introduced on like the outskirts of the Spider Verse story, and they finally decided to give her her own issue. And me, I went to Midtown Comics to pick up a copy, and I actually was able to get the alternate cover
Oh,
version of it. Uh,
fire.
I took it out, I read through it, put it immediately back in the plastic, and have not taken it out since. I'm gonna try to take good care of this, and maybe one day it'll be worth something because it is the alternate cover from Midtown Comics.
Yeah, see, you just admitted on stream that you opened
But
it though.
yeah, I did open it. I did
Yeah.
open it. It's not gonna be perfect quality. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be
It's gonna
good
be close.
quality, not
It's gonna be
perfect.
close. Yeah, it's gonna be close. Let me actually see. Now I'm curious to see what I have over here. Uh, with my comics.
Take a look, man. Take a look. See if you have anything interesting. I know I have some of the Miles Morales run. I have some of the Miss Marvel run as well. I have this very interesting comic called. I know I'm just talking to you guys because Lobo's looking for stuff. I have this comic called Why the Last. Oh, you can't hear me. Perfect. I have this comic called Why the Last Man, which is really cool. We discussed that one before. Just for the people on stream, Why the Last Man is an interesting comic. I think it's from Vertigo. It's about a disease that kills all males in the population except for one guy and his male chimp.
They made it a
And
show.
huh? They made it a show. Yeah, they did make it a show. I don't know if the show went well.
But yeah, here.
I'm pretty sure this is yours, bro.
Oh, that is Olivia's. Or either that or I got it for Olivia. Uh, right there. So yeah, right. The regular, uh, second, second one, and then the alternate cover.
Nice.
Unopened, unsealed, like the tape is still on there.
Nice. Oh, fucking Summer's a Ranger. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And then we got oh shit, I didn't even realize. So this is the regular third. Sorry for the glare. And then we have the third with what's her name? Fucking Beth.
Nice.
As a cleric, and then on the back you got Jerry, Little
What's Jerry?
Wizardo, the
He's
husband.
a wizard?
Yes, he's a wizard.
I'm not mad at that. Well, it's actually very funny because they portray him on the show to be so stupid. So I find it funny that he's using a class that's
Yo,
based on intelligence.
honestly, so like they explain it really well. And like it's I don't know, it's cool. So there is a thing. The way that uh Dan Harmon sort of wrote and sort of set up the I guess the wheel you could call it for Rick and Morty really has been something that I have been thinking about a lot when I have started writing, for my character, and for my portion of the universe there, because
How's the wheel work? Just for those who don't know.
ooh, uh, I honestly had it memorized and written down for a while. So I think essentially it goes the protagonist being comfortable craves something, um,
I got
changes,
it here.
yeah,
If you
changes
want me to
to
read it
get
verbatim.
something. I mean, you could let me know if I'm right or wrong.
Okay.
They crave something, they change to get that thing. Uh, they or they change or they journey to get that thing. They achieve the thing and return having changed to the same place, and overall find out that like nothing has really changed. Uh,
Okay.
so it ends up being a cycle. I think I'm not sure if I explained that.
I'll just read it verbatim.
Yeah.
One, in a zone of comfort.
Mm.
Two, they desire something.
Mm.
Three, they enter an unfamiliar situation.
Mm.
Four, they adapt to the situation.
Mm.
Five, they get what they desired.
Mm.
Six, they pay a heavy price for winning. Seven, they return to their familiar situation. Eight, they have overall changed.
Okay. Yeah. And yeah, I think that's a decent model,
It
or a
is.
decent thing to expect rather.
It's really good for a TV show that what I find interesting about Rick and Morty is that there is a progression in their story, but at the same time, there's a level of stagnation as well. Because you keep coming back to the dynamic of the family in the house, dealing with the day to day nonsense, go on this crazy adventure, come right back, and now we're back in the house with the day to day nonsense again.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that there's a level of that I wanted to introduce, because at least on the offset, the characters in my book, like they have a place where they always come back to. Like there are, I want to say, three settings that are constants in the story that I even have written in some sort of like playful things where it's like, all right, they're in this one position in this place, and then the scene changes where they're in the exact same sitting position in a different setting.
Hmm.
So like I don't know. I pictured it in sort of an animation way where it's like where the scene changes, right? The background changes, the foreground changes, but they have not moved at all. And it's
Mhm.
just because that's supposed to be a visual representation of the fact that they always come back to that point. Like that's it's a constant for them.
That makes sense. I also want this. I want this to feel like it affects the long term, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because, like, for example, what's more interesting? When you meet a character and they have a scar, or if you meet a character and don't have a scar and you see how they get that scar, and now you see them progress and you know how they got it.
Yeah,
So
I,
you're,
and I feel like that's a really tough distinction to make, right? Because that could be
yeah,
objective. It could, or it's subjective rather. That it depends on the
mhm,
person watching. It depends on the person experiencing it. Because
I know.
some people like that mystique and that mystery, right? Like, oh my gosh, like how
Mhm,
did they get that? How did that happen? And then they build an initial perspective perception. They have an initial view of that character
yeah,
before they actually get to know that character, right? Because
mhm,
as soon as you look at it, oh, scarred up, they're probably, they like to rumble or they always get in trouble. But then
mhm.
if you discover that the character's always really careful, like, oh, well, maybe they were in an accident, right?
Yeah,
Like
and you
it forces you to
theorizing.
start thinking about like how that
Yeah.
character came to be how they are. And then you as the writer could be like, actually, boom, backstory. Here you go. Here's a flashback.
Well, okay. I feel like a perfect example, which
Or
is a
you
very
never know.
oh, go ahead.
No, you're
True.
good.
Or you never know. A perfect example would be something we both watched, Naruto.
Yeah.
We saw Kakashi enter our just meeting him. We met
Yeah.
him with his scar.
He entered our lives, all right? Be honest
It-
here.
he entered our young lives. He entered our young lives with a scar, and we thought it was really cool. And later on, we found out how he got it.
Yeah.
Now versus Sasuke, who we met him without anything wrong with his body,
Any
and now we know
deformations.
him as missing an arm. And but
Yeah.
we
Ooh,
know how he
spoilers.
lost the arm.
Spoilers.
Spoilers for the original
Spoilers.
Naruto.
I'm just saying, no, spoilers just in general, because some people haven't watched it at all. I'm just
All
saying.
right,
I
for
apologize.
any of y'all who haven't watched Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, spoiler warning. But at the same time, you should have watched it already. It's more than 10 years old. Sasuke lost his
It's making
arm in the
TikTok
fight.
dances now. It's all-
Exactly. Sasuke's watching lost his arm and we saw it happen. So we have a different relationship with his scar versus with Kakashi's.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I find it a very cool concept if you like meet a character in their like early stages and they like go through stuff and it permanently scars them either physically or mentally and you know why the scars are there. And it'll be interesting if they meet new characters and like it's coming off and how they treat the new characters and the new character can be like, oh, what's wrong with you? But all the audience is like, we know why they're like
Yeah.
that.
I would also say that we have to be careful with flashback fatigue because
Yes.
I know. All right, so I'll say it. I know that you and I both watched this show, Arrow. Uh,
Oh God, freaking
Bro,
Arrow.
it was every episode was like half the episode was a flashback. All right, and it's like I understand that it's hard to like give context to
Hmm.
everything, in one shot. But Jesus, bro, if every episode we're out of context for the story, and there were some times where I would understand, right? There was the duality there where it's like, okay,
Very much.
this is related to this, but it's like, are you guys? I trust you guys to be better writers, to then have to like, there's got to be a way.
I thought it was really interesting personally. I thought it was a really dope choice because it was like two parallel storylines at once.
I sometimes it just felt heavy to me. It just felt
I get
it
that.
just felt too heavily used. And
Maybe
I
I'm
like,
thinking of the good times with it
yeah,
because there were
and
some good episodes that they did it well, and there were some where I
yeah,
was like,
where it was like we were. Are we still in a flashback? We were just in a flashback. Like we were in a flashback 2 minutes ago, and then we came out of the flashback, and then we're now right back into the flashback.
listen, man, I here us coming from the world of anime, we know about flashbacks. What I don't like is if we're on episode 4, giving us flashbacks to episode 1.
Yeah, bro,
I
that's
remember what happened.
yeah. I was there for it. You know what though? I would also say that like because as far as animes go, like we're
Yeah,
binge watching them now, right?
yeah,
As opposed to like they're coming out like either weekly or monthly or whatever the schedule is
hmm
when they were coming out, So we do have to give it a little bit of leeway when it comes to that because I don't know, at the very least, they're trying to make sure that people remember what's going on. And I feel like at least in manga or in comic books themselves, there should be less flashbacks unless you're flashing
yes.
back to something that did not happen in the actual comic in the series itself.
hmm
Just because if you buy a comic, you usually keep the comic, no?
Yeah,
Right?
usually.
So like if you're on issue 14, like why would I flash back to something that happened in issue 11 when you could just look back there? And I also do
What I don't
remember Nell
hydrate.
Nell might still be watching, but I used to read some of his comics. The ones that were already opened, not the ones that looked like they had never been opened before. Because even when I was younger, I was terrified that I would ruin something. Um, and I would notice that even in some of like what they would do is they would just put a footnote. Like instead of doing a
Yeah.
full flashback, they would just be like, as seen in issue 114. Right? Like, and it's
No,
like,
but that that specific tactic, I feel like was to sell more comics.
I mean, yeah, I could see that, but I also say that like it just, I don't know, it felt like it made more sense than to like
Yeah,
spend
sure.
the like waste panels on showing them something that they literally could have seen just by paying 15 cents for a different issue.
Yeah, and I feel like in anime, it's also a tactic for them for the animators to save money because we don't need to animate a new scene.
Oh
They're
yeah, hell
filling
yeah.
up padding this time with
Oh yeah.
flashbacks.
Yeah.
But what I do like as far as flashbacks is, and if we're still talking about anime, I like a small, maybe 5 to 6 episode arc of like a character's background story of something that happened. Kind of like think like the Kakashi Gaiden arc. That was really cool.
I'm on the fence as someone who doesn't like to admit that they enjoy them, but when they are done well, I do really enjoy them.
Yeah.
I dislike taking a break from the main action and the main
hmm
story that's going on, but I do like the context of the character that's added. And I feel like that's one of the things that I kind of struggle with when it comes to, because I've been watching One Piece, and I'm caught up with One Piece. Like honestly, the pandemic was really good for that, man.
Can, can I can
I
I give a
think I
quick PSA?
yeah. Go ahead.
Ladies, if you want a man who doesn't have commitment issues, find a man that's caught up on One Piece. If you find a man that's caught up on One Piece, that man will ride with you
Yeah.
through anything.
Yo, we out here, baby. I'm just saying, you know.
He won't
Uh,
get sick of you. He'll be
yeah.
there through everything.
Or he might get sick of you, but he'll try to stick through it. You
He
know,
will. He will. He
he's there
will
for the
try to
long
ride
haul.
with.
I'm just saying.
There you go. He's here for a long time, not a fun time.
He's here for a long time, not a good time. Oh man, but yeah, so the pandemic was really good for me, like flying through the like pretty much all of it and like getting me up to date with it.
Hmm.
And essentially, whenever I know, like I didn't watch a lot of the filler. I'll be honest, but
That's fair.
whenever they broke off from the main story just to tell somebody's backstory, if they didn't do something, if there wasn't something compelling about it in that first episode, I'll be honest with you, I usually skipped it. Uh,
That's fair.
but there
That's fair.
were a
But
couple that
yeah,
hooked me in, and I was like, how is this not the main story? And those,
that's
yeah.
that's why I prefer, rather than having the flashbacks in those pivotal moments, because it kind of kills the momentum, if you know what I mean. Like we're
Yeah,
in the middle of
yeah.
a fight, and it's building up, it's building up, it's building up, and it's, oh, we want you to know why this character is this way, and then you fade off into a flashback. It's like you killed you killed the momentum.
The
There was
little
so
dream
much
sequence
good
music
momentum.
goes off. Yeah.
Like you never want to hear a character say, "I remember when." Fuck. Said
Yeah.
I remember. I'm like 3 episodes of a flashback now. Damn.
All right. I feel like the only thing that that bothered me more than those poorly placed fat flashbacks was actually this is a two-part thing. Extended like parts of fight scenes, right, where it's just like, so I'm gonna call it out, Dragon Ball Z, where it's just yelling for
Oh
like
no.
it's 30 seconds of yelling per character, and then they go back and forth little by little, and
That
then
was their filler.
yeah, right, and then 8-minute intros. All right, 8-minute intros where it's the last 6 minutes of the previous episode and 2 minutes of voiceover where they're setting you up for the new episode. Like, bro, come on,
It's
man. Like,
all filler,
we're
bro.
literally only here for 23 minutes. You're telling me that with the break in the beginning, the preview of the next episode, which ends up being like half the episode, let's be honest. The preview of the next episode, which is like the last 2 minutes, you're telling me I'm getting like 13 minutes
Yeah.
of actual content here.
Did you incorporate commercial breaks?
Oh well, yeah. Right, out of the 30-minute show, that the commercials they cut out bring it down to 23. Right, you
Okay,
got
gotcha.
the 8 minute, like you got like 8 minutes of straight intro BS, and like last
Yep.
week's episode. So
Yep.
it's yeah. So and that's, I feel like that was another thing, another quick tip about watching One Piece. If you ever binge it, the first like 3 to 6 minutes after the intro song is usually the last 3 to 6 minutes of the last episode, so you can usually skip it. Boom, there you
Um,
go.
I'm good on One Piece, bro. Y'all can have that. I
Yo,
respect y'all for
honestly,
doing it.
I
I'm
think
not
I
doing
think the
it.
concept is. I think you would really enjoy the concept,
I-
just in
I'm
general.
sure.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm sure it's just between how long the series is and how the animation style isn't really my cup of tea. It's just, it's not.
So you'll sit there and binge Doctor Who.
I don't watch Doctor Who anymore.
No.
I don't watch Doctor Who
How
anymore.
many
I
episodes did you
watch.
watch before you stopped though?
I watched from Christopher Eccleston to the end of David Tennant.
You're speaking British to me. I don't know. I don't know how many seasons
Okay.
that means.
All right. Well, there's 8 seasons of different Doctor. People should know this.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I watched 2 full Doctor seasons,
Okay.
and David Tennant, aka the Purple Man, Jessica Jones, aka many other things, because David Tennant is a great actor. He killed it as Doctor Who, and when it was time for him to go, I said, "I'm going to.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. This was great. I'm gonna go."
This is my stop. Bus driver, let me up here,
And the funny
please.
thing is, the line that messed me up, and this is why I love acting. Love acting as as like a practice and as a skill, because as an actor, you can make a choice that completely alters the feeling of the scene using things that weren't even in the script.
Yeah.
Because when he was regenerating or dying, It's kind of like dying, but they regenerate as like a different doctor with like all different memories and everything. When he was going, it was a very long and sad scene, and he said very softly, "But I don't want to go." And just the delivery of it and the way it twisted my chest. I was like, "Oh, why'd you have to say it like that?" It messed me up. And I was like, "I'm done. I'm not watching this anymore. I
I
can't
can't
do
do
that
it.
again.
I can't do it to him. His
I
memory will
can't.
be
I can't.
tarnished.
It's that and me. I can't fall in love with a doctor again for a season and have him torn away from me. No, I'm not doing it anymore.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
that hurt. I didn't want to do it anymore after that. He was a lot of people's favorite doctor,
I bet.
but
Great actor.
yeah, no, I didn't do all of Doctor Who. No, I couldn't do like what is it? Starting like the 50s, the 60s? I think it started.
Yeah, long enough ago.
Back when the show was filmed in black and white. I know that's how
Telling.
long ago
Yeah.
Doctor Who started.
Quite.
So I didn't watch from all the way. I think I started from like the 12th to the 13th Doctor.
Word.
Hey, welcome, Meowster Sullivan. Welcome,
Hello,
welcome.
hello, hello. How's it going?
Well,
Man.
welcome to our stream where we talk about random subjects like Doctor Who and anime.
Yeah. We get into a little bit of everything. Anything. We don't mind weighing in on usually.
I think we organically found the theme of the stream.
What?
Story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
the
we got we
story.
got yeah we got plenty of stories. Um.
Well, stories that we have and stories that we've watched or read,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
the different aspects of it is very interesting. Here's a question: what do you think is the difference, for the most part, we're speaking very generally, of a written, thought out story or just like a story that's being told from a friend, something that happened to them?
Bring that back. What?
The difference between a planned out story, a
Mm-hmm.
character story that was written, or a story just a friend told you that something just happened to them that they just wanted to tell
I think it depends on the person, really.
you.
But usually structure. Like uh, your friend, especially if I'm that friend, they may have only told the story a couple times, and it'll change a dozen times until they find the right configuration for how they want to, like how it's most
Yeah,
compelling. But with
yeah,
a written story, like it's practice before it's put out. Like it's one of those things that it's like at least if it's done well, they write it down and they're like, okay, actually this should go here, this should go here, this should go here, I can change this, I can change this. It's visually in front of them. But I want to kind of branch off of this, if you don't mind me. We're doing some sick segue in here.
I was gonna say something on this before.
Well, no,
If you
no,
don't,
not really a segue, but
okay, go ahead.
just kind of how like a lot of the basis for our knowledge, it feels like, I mean, because we have an oral history is such a huge part of humanity. Like
Yep.
our friend, like us telling stories is homage to our ancestry. Like us,
Yeah.
like orating, and telling each other the things that are happening in our lives, and like being able to concoct these stories is all that. It's just talking, Ralph.
No, no.
Orating is
All right. So we have reached the portion of our stream where Lobo uses an SAT word, and what I do is that I Google that word, and this is how you know this is happening a lot because he saw me typing, he knew what I was doing. As soon as he says an SAT word that not all of us may be aware of the definition, I look it up and I preach it for
God
everyone.
damn it.
So, orate, verb, to gerund or present. What is there? Do I have to look up a word for a word in this definition?
What's the
Make
word?
speech, especially pompously or at length.
You
That
know
is
what
when the
pompous?
story.
You know what pompous is, right? It's
Isn't it
like
for like
arrogant.
arrogant?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Like
Like
arrogant,
arrogant. Like
showboaty.
you pompously walked in, like, look at
Yeah.
me.
Yes, quite, indeed.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know why pompous people in my head always have that accent. I apologize for any
You
Brits.
know what? Okay, sci-fi. I'm gonna expand on that because that's a very good point. I just want to get something out of the way very quickly. So, as far as storytelling, what I love is that two people can tell the exact same story in completely varying levels of an entertaining fashion.
Yep.
So, like
Varying
for
levels of detail
example,
as well.
varying level of detail, entertainment, all of that. Like someone could just say, "Hey, I went to the corner store and got a sandwich. It was cool." That's the whole story.
Yeah.
Someone's like, "Yo, tell me how I went to the bodega, right?
Tell me how.
Tell me how I went to the bodega, right? Stepped in, yo, smells bomb. I think a sandwich just came off the grill." So I went up to my boy, went up to him. I said, "Yo, you already know what I
Yo,
need,
Ak.
man.
Yo,
Yo,
Aki.
you already know what I need, man." And he was like, "Man, you order the same thing every time you come in here, man. You want to try nothing new?" And I said, "Bro, why you playing with me? Yo, get me my order, bro. Stop playing." So puts the two patties on the grill, right? Get some nut sizzling. Whole place is smelling bomb. He pulls out this fresh lettuce because he knows I don't play with that bullshit lettuce that they be having from the morning. Pulls out a fresh head of lettuce, breaks that up for me, puts it on the bread that was
Yeah.
freshly toasted, garlic bread. You already know how I do. Puts it all together, right? Wraps it up. Tells me $10. I know for a fact this is $5. Talking about $10, trying to upcharge me. I gave him a five, grabbed my sandwich, and said peace. Ate it, delicious as always.
Yeah, why that? Yeah, that's a. Oh my god, the classic. Welcome, welcome.
What's up?
Otaku.
Welcome, Aotaku. Welcome to
Just
the stream.
otaku.
Oh, just Otaku.
Just
Welcome
yeah,
to the
yeah.
stream.
Welcome, welcome. Uh,
So sci-fi asked a very good question.
do you wanna talk on this first, or should I? Because
I'll touch on it, and then you can hop in there. Um, Social media. Well, here's the thing. I don't know if we can consider it an oral storytelling because sometimes social media is just images or text. But if we're talking about like video, like stories or on Instagram or like TikToks, stories on Facebook because Facebook likes to bite off people. Then yeah, that could be considered a type of oral storytelling. But the thing is, like, there are so many stories being told over social media. There's no possible way that they're all being documented, if that makes any sense. Like if
I
somebody wanted to sit back and look at everything, it would be impossible.
I uh I uh, I think differently on this.
Okay, go ahead.
I think overall, social media as a whole is documenting sort of our social history as we go through it. Like overall as like a society thing. Uh, and it's like it, essentially, I think that we can see. You got a little fuzz on your beard still.
Okay.
We can still see that. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the by the fantastic bearding I see going on over there.
Appreciate that, sir.
So I do think that overall social media is acting like sort of a soapbox for the congruency, like just the adjoining of all of our personalities. Look at again with the typing, um, and uh, and we get to see really like if we don't have to we don't have to sit and really specify like watch specific channels to see where we are as a society, but if we take a look at generally what the biggest trends really are, you can overall like really take a look at, okay, overall these are the issues that people are worrying about, so this is what so we know how such and such is happening. you know, these are the issues that these people are always, you know, arguing or complaining about. So we know that during this part of time, you know, like this is how people felt. And I 100% believe that digital archaeology, like archaeology, is going to be a thing. Where
Honestly, digital archaeology, I think, is going to be maybe even more in depth than regular archaeology with the amount of stuff that's been put on the internet.
I mean, at the very least, it's gonna be, it's gonna be just as meticulous, I think, right?
Oh
Because
yeah.
you imagine, right, a regular archaeologist having to very carefully dust off, right, rock sediment to be able to reveal a skull or something in, in that's been buried for hundreds of thousands of years, whereas in, in 100 years or 200 years, you're gonna have, some digital archaeologists going through like web pages, IP address by IP address, pinging them to see like what they find and what the state of this site was, and see if they could find the site history, and reading the code on there. Uh, this one is it's the Torment, part 1 of 5, number 1 from what is it? The Legend of the Arachnite. It was a
Yeah,
gift from a
I
friend.
think that's McFarlane's art style because he was a lot into the darker tones, and
Look at this guy.
and it was definitely the bigger eyes on the mask, which was really McFarlane. And he used a lot of black instead of the blue in the suit. If you look at his art, it's not as much blue. It's a lot of
Yeah,
black.
yeah. Just the highlights are blue. It looks like.
And what's very interesting is that I really do feel like he took a lot of that style into Spawn because he's actually the one that created Spawn.
That makes sense. No, you're
Yeah.
free to ask. Oh, right
Oh, I'm a
here.
huge.
It's
Listen,
yeah.
do I have to show him?
Show it.
I
Show
have
it.
to
Let him
show it.
know.
Okay, I'll show it.
Let
I'll
him
show it.
know. There we go. The man's got the
Can you see it?
savage
Can you see it on the camera? I don't know.
El Savage.
That's my only tattoo.
Oh, I mean that's fine. I
That's fine.
I won't take
We
that
consider ourselves
personally.
sexy too. It's okay.
Yeah, I think I sound sexy. That's enough for me.
But I wanted to see there was something else I wanted to touch on. Um, well, there's good YouTube channels that tell stories. Yes, yes. There's been some great storytelling on YouTube. There's been even like a story time trend that has taken over, and I personally am a fan of the story times that come in. Just me personally, I love animated storytelling. I love it.
Oh, off
It's
topic is what we do here. Don't you worry about
Oh
that.
yeah. Don't listen. That's how we segue. That's how we keep things
Yeah,
moving.
go ahead. But
But
yeah,
yeah,
you
that's just
like.
great animated storytelling, especially from this YouTuber that I've suggested to you before, Lobo Swoozy.
Yeah, I've seen a couple swoozy joints.
His stuff is so good. So if you ever want to see like a good example of animated storytelling, in my opinion, Swoozy is a very good
Man,
example.
we gotta get you practicing animating again. And
I know I've been slacking.
I'll tell stories, and we'll change the voice so we can tell personal stories, or have people send us personal stories that we animate, and nobody knows who it is unless they're specifically involved in the situation, and even then they can't say anything because it'll.
And Otaku, I want to ask SCP. What is that? Do you know what that is?
Ooh,
Lobo?
yeah, I know what SCP is. SCP,
What's that?
it's uh, I forget what the specific letters mean, but it's basically creepy shit. It's like very creepy. It's like sci-fi version of creepypasta. There you go.
Okay.
It's secure, contain, protect. Yeah. And
Oh, I
they
looked it
like
up. I looked it up. It says Storm Prediction Center.
uh
So way off.
no, not SPC, SCP.
SCP,
Yeah.
Secure, Contain, Protect. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
And every number, so like there's a bunch of numbers and letters and symbols, and they all have different designations, and they all tell you like what the specific SCP is. Uh,
You know, it's
it's
very interesting just because we were talking about stories and stuff. I don't want to cut you off if you were saying something. Were you saying something?
No, I was just telling you about the SCP thing.
Oh, okay. Just because we're talking about storytelling and stuff, and you had mentioned like somebody had mentioned something scary or stuff, or am I just misreading here? Scary stories.
That's me. Yeah.
So, have you ever heard of the story of the emotionless?
I'm not sure that I have. I probably.
I don't know if you remember creepy pasta back in the day. It was a big
Yeah.
site. Yeah, you remember, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mentioned it like 30 seconds ago.
you did mention it like 30 seconds ago. I'm sorry. Um, there was a story on there called The Emotionless that was so. Is it? Can I read? I'm gonna see how long it is. If it's too long, I'm not gonna read it, and I'll just like post a link so you guys can look at it. But The Emotionless was one of the creepier stories that I remember reading, and it even had a visual aid that didn't make it any better. Um, let me. Lobo, talk while I'm looking this up.
Oh
I don't want
gosh.
to get all.
Da 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 da. I looked it up. Is it expressionless? Cause I looked up the
Expressionless.
emotionless
Yes.
on
Expression.
Google and it creeped me out. Ba da ba da ba ba.
All right, I found it.
There we go.
I think it's okay. I could do this. I could do this. All right. Should I get into like my whole storytelling bag, or should I just kind of like read this?
You go into it. Do the thing.
All right. In June 1972, a woman appeared in Cedar Sinai Hospital in nothing but a white, blood-covered gown. Now, in itself, it should not be too surprising as people often have accidents nearby and come to the nearest hospital for medical attention. But there were two things that caused people who saw her to vomit and flee in terror. The first being she wasn't exactly human. She resembled something close to a mannequin, but had the dexterity and fluidity of a normal human being. Her face was flawless as a mannequin's, devoid of eyebrows and smeared in makeup. There was a kitten clamped in her jaws, so unnaturally tight that no teeth could be seen, but the blood was still squirting over her gown and onto the floor. And then she pulled it out of her mouth, tossed it to the side, and collapsed. From the moment she stepped in through the entrance to when she was taken to a hospital room and cleaned up before being prepped for sedation, she was completely calm, expressionless, and emotionless. The doctors thought it was best to restrain her until the authorities could arrive, and she did not protest. They were unable to get any kind of response from her, and most of the staff members felt too uncomfortable to look directly at her for more than a few seconds. But the second the staff tried to sedate her, she fought back with extreme force. Two members of the staff had to hold her down as her body rose up from the bed in the same blank expression. She turned her emotionless eyes toward the male doctor and did something unusual. She smiled. As she did, the female doctor screamed and let go in shock. The woman's mouth were not human teeth, but long, sharp spikes, too long for her mouth to fully close without causing any damage. The male doctor stared back at her for a moment, asking, "What in the hell are you?" She cracked her neck down her shoulder to observe him still smiling. There was a long pause. The security had been alerted and could be heard coming down the hallway. As he heard them approach, she darted forward, sinking her teeth into the front of his throat, ripping out his jugular and letting him fall to the ground, gasping for air as he choked on his own blood. She stood up, leaned over him, her face coming dangerously close as his light faded from his eyes. She leaned in closer and whispered in his ear, "I am God." The doctor's eyes filled with fear as she watched her calmly walk away to greet the security man. His last ever sight would be him watching her feast on them one by one. The doctor who survived the incident named her the Expressionless. There was never a sighting of her again.
Okay, so this is where my skepticism comes in. All right. whose perspective are we hearing this story from? Because holy fuck, right? Like a lot of it, right? Part of all right, right? Like my initial thought is like, all right, what if this person initially was just someone who was in a deep state of shock, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, it's like, okay, hold on. This person is just ripping out people's necks.
Yep.
Like, what is happening? I am God. How do you get out of there? That yeah, that's bananas. Yeah, SCPs are more like here. Let's someone give me a random number. And
23, like Jordan.
20 SCP 23.
You want to
Uh
make? Hold on, I'm just reading Otaku's comment. You want to make a Spider-Man fan film based off if he keeps the symbiote. That's very interesting. I do like that idea of Spider-Man keeping the symbiote. There was a point in time that he did have the symbiote for an extended amount, but I could see that getting really dark. Yeah.
all right, so SCP-023 is a large, sexless, shaggy canine, 1.5 meters at the shoulder, with black. Actually, I feel like I should read this like a soldier giving you a debriefing.
Uh-oh.
SCP-023 is a large, sexless, shaggy canine, 1.5 meters at the shoulder, with black fur. It has bright orange, red eyes, and prominent teeth. See incident report for more specifics. Anytime an individual makes eye contact with SCP-023, either that person or a member of their immediate family will die exactly 1 year after eye contact is broken. Research into the method of selection is incomplete due to a moratorium on experiments, but the available data suggests that having a larger immediate family lessens the chance of the individual making eye contact themselves dying. Neither a pattern nor a preference in victim types have been found. We did get we'd get a preferred one. What was it? It was 8,000, 3008. Here, let's see, and we'll check that one out as well. So here, let's see. SCP-3008 is a large retail unit previously owned by and branded as IKEA, a popular furniture retail chain. A person entering SCP-3008 through the main entrance and then passing out of sight of doors will find themselves translocated to SCP-3008-1. This displacement will typically go unnoticed, as no change will occur from the perspective of the victim. They will generally not become aware until they try to return to the entrance. SCP-3008 is a space resembling the inside of an IKEA furniture store, extending far beyond the limits of what could physically be contained within the dimensions of the retail unit. Current measurements indicate an area of at least 10 kilometers squared with no visible external terminators detected in any direction. Inconclusive results from the use of laser rangefinders has led to the speculation that the space may be infinite. It is inhabited by an unknown number of civilians trapped within prior to containment. And data suggests that they have formed a rudimentary civilization in there. And they are trying to defend against SCP-3008-2, which are humanoid entities that exist within SCP-3008-1. While superficially resembling humans, they possess exaggerated and inconsistent bodily proportions, often described as being too short or too tall. So kind of like Walmart people in an IKEA. They possess no facial features, and in all observed cases wear a yellow shirt and blue trousers, consistent with the IKEA employee uniform. Interesting.
I like going to IKEA, guys. I enjoy IKEA shopping runs. Why would you ruin IKEA like this for me?
You're never gonna stop me from going, and they were never heard of again.
Exactly. So now you guys know if Working Title goes from a duo show to a single person show, y'all know what happened.
Just let us know which IKEA you usually go to. And then we'll know. No, the -1 is the interdimensional space inside. -2 are the people, the fake people within.
Jeez. So there's multiple people from different universes stuck in that. Ah, man,
Yeah,
I
it's
like
bananas.
IKEA.
Oh shit! That means it only picks one person from each universe. That's pretty funny.
That is pretty cool, actually.
What universe
I
are
would
you
love
from?
to meet. I would love to meet people from different universes. I'd be really interesting. I can imagine there'd be like the subtle differences, and there would be like the huge differences.
Yeah, there's just one who's a cannibal, like who's a cannibal, a very crafty cannibal. Hello, it's
I was
nice to
thinking of
meet
bougie
you.
cannibal.
Oh, a
Thinking
bougie
of
cannibal.
bougie cannibal. Like, hello, you look quite tempting. What can you tell me what your diet has been like over the past year?
Yes, you smell of garlic, onion, and a hint of coriander. Delicious. I mean, exciting. Just,
And then there's like the people that the differences are so slight. Like George W. Bush didn't get 2 years in 2 sessions in office. That's the only difference.
yeah. But
He
that
had his
changed.
one term.
But it changed the world infinitely, right? Like it's. Oh my God! If what was it? If instead of Thomas Jefferson, yeah, instead of Thomas Jefferson winning, it was who was the other guy that that what's his name
I don't
didn't
know who
like?
was running against him.
Fuck.
I'm not sure.
Sorry, I'm
You're
making
asking for
yeah,
history right
I'm
now.
making
It's
a
not-
Hamilton reference. Uh, Aaron Burr. There you go. Yeah, Aaron Burr. What if he became the president? What would the world be
Be
like
alive.
now?
What if America lost the revolution?
Oh, yeah, that is. I feel like you got to be careful if you say that too loud. Actually, if you say that 3 times, Secret Service shows up to your apartment.
about this?
It's like the
Wait,
boogeyman.
I'm talking about the establishment of our country.
No,
Jesus
I know,
Christ.
I'm aware.
Oh my God. There's like a bunch of different stuff, like differences. Like you really could just sit here all day and list different things.
Yeah, you could speculate all day long.
Like what if Russia decided to attack during the Cold War? What if
Yeah, honestly, I think a lot of shit would have been leveled, and we would have just started rebuild. Like anybody who survived eventually would have just started rebuilding.
Yep.
I find it hard to believe that humans would just sit after 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 devastation like that. Oh my God! Thank you so much. I love you too.
Thanks, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
If you guys could follow, we'd really appreciate it. We're trying to get some more exposure, get some more people, get some more conversations.
Hell yeah.
Really. So it would be really cool.
One of the things that eventually we do want to throw up a goal for is we do want to get some new microphones, and I was planning on building them on stream over time with what we make from this stream. That's probably going to be one of the first big changes and big projects that you guys are going to see for stream improvement. We appreciate you. We appreciate the follows. We appreciate the love. What else? Fucking.
Oh, we're gonna keep talking about potential scenarios that could have changed how the world looks.
We could talk about whatever we want. Hold on. I feel like putting a pin in my hat now.
Oh, no, you go ahead. I'm gonna give one more. I'm gonna give one more good one and see how that works.
Yeah, let's do it.
What if? Ooh, this could be controversial. Should I say it?
Do it.
I'll say it. What if, as soon as the slave ships hit the island, they all revolted?
Bro. Yeah, yeah. America would be very different. I don't think it'd be called America.
No, not
Uh,
at all.
New Africa,
New
uh,
Africa.
New Zimbabwe. I well, it
But
was
I'd be
so
okay.
most of the slave trade happened in they were pulled from Western Africa, right?
Hmm.
All the like a lot of the slaves were like defeated, tribes members that were defeated in combat or whatever, because they there was no Geneva Convention. They didn't have rules against like, capturing slaves, that you defeated in battle, but didn't feel like killing. So they would, those were the people that were often sold off into slavery. So they honestly it would probably become like a whole tribal thing. I
I
also
see
have
that.
been watching a lot of Black History.
Nice.
I like to get educated on stuff. I like learning. Learning is awesome. You just got to
But
find something that keeps it interesting. Oh dang, he kills most of the villains except for Kingpin.
that's the thing. Spider-Man can kill most of his villains if he wanted to.
Yeah,
This is the thing people don't really
just
understand.
punch him right in the throat.
That's why I love the Superior Spider-Man run. It's one of the few like comic book runs I've read all the way through, where there's a scene in there that's heavily referenced when it comes to talking about Spider-Man's strength. He punched Scorpion's jaw off. Didn't break it, didn't bruise it, didn't crack it. He punched it so it came off of the rest of his body. And this isn't a regular human. This is an enhanced human in a suit that was created to fight Spider-Man. They even had a
The whole
panel, I think,
jaw.
of like the whole jaw was gone, bro. I think they
Stop
even had a
telling me.
panel of like his lower mouth like bandaged, and you can see there wasn't a jaw there.
Oh, like Chamber.
Kind of. But that's an example. Like Spider-Man is always pulling his punches. No one, like very few times has someone felt like a full punch from him.
That's kind of bananas. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. That kindness comes through even when he's fighting. You can find someone he hates, but that's why I love. There. Speaking of Kingpin, there was, I think it was Spider-Man Back in Black when Kingpin was in jail, but he had ordered a sniper to take out Aunt May. And the sniper nearly succeeded. Put Aunt May in the hospital. Spider-Man was not. He was not in a good place after that. He literally broke into the prison where Kingpin was being held, pulled him out like in the middle. All these prisoners were surrounding. Pulled him out in the middle and started. He took off his suit. He had like half his suit on. All he had was the pants on, and just started beating the shit out of
I need to read
Kingpin.
that issue. Holy shit.
He was beating the shit. Like it was really bad. There were no jokes. There were no like little quips that he would do. It was just him beating him down.
Evil.
And then like I think he put his web shooter in his mouth and said, "You know, if I was to pull this, I could fill your lungs with web fluid, and it wouldn't dissolve for 2 hours. You'd suffocate long before your lungs were free." And then he said, and I think I remember him saying this. He said, "I want you to know that your life is now linked to my Aunt May's. If she dies, I'm coming back here and finishing this."
Let's go.
And I was just like, this is what I wanted to see.
La Araña
Just
Negra.
just the one time of him just going off the rails. And even he still didn't go completely off the rails. Kingpin was still alive.
Yeah. See,
But
and
it was dope
yeah,
to see.
those are the kind of see, and bringing it back. Those are the kinds of moments that I want to have for our characters in that universe we're creating.
The thing is about that is that you gotta to have a moment like that. You need to establish this character as having like a way of being.
Yeah.
regardless of
Yeah.
anything. It's been tested multiple times, and they still stick to it.
Yeah.
And then for that one thing to
You got to
happen,
let them know that you like this person. Yeah, this person is A all the time. This person is A. And then at
yep,
this point, you literally made them come out their face and show you who they actually are or who they could be.
yeah,
Uh,
that'd be a dope reference to the Back in Black story. So a lot of Spider-Man fans would like understand what you were referencing with that.
yeah, that's pretty
But
sick.
yeah, no, that scene. Whoo, I read that a couple times. Those panels were rough.
It'd be spicy.
Those panels were rough, and it was rough because he wasn't making jokes. Whenever Spider-Man's fighting somebody, he's making jokes. And I found out at one point, I think it was, wow, I'm really showing like my comic book nerd this episode. It was it was Marvel Zombies, where Spider-Man actually says why he makes jokes while he's fighting, and it's because he's scared. He's
I
literally afraid.
yeah, I get that because I 100% like whenever I watch scary movies, I make jokes the whole
Yeah.
time,
Oh yeah, it
like the
deflates
whole
it.
the whole time.
It really deflates it. Yeah. But yeah, so he makes jokes during fights to make himself like not feel afraid and seem a lot more confident than he may be.
I get that.
Spider-Man's
I
so
respect
good.
that.
My he's my OG. I could talk about Spider-Man forever. I remember when we did the we're doing the reaction videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I even said it in that video when we were reacting to the Infinity War trailer. And in the end, it showed Spider-Man like catching everybody, and
Yeah.
I was like, I could just watch a whole movie of that, and that's completely
Yeah.
fine.
Satisfying. Let's watch it again. Uh,
More satisfying than the first time.
yeah,
Let's see
let's
it
do it
again.
again. Ooh, there's a director's cut, and it's just from a slightly different angle. Fuck, that hit so good.
I will make the deleted scenes from any Spider-Man movie the most watched shit on YouTube.
It's literally just Tom Holland squatting like for 20 minutes trying to get the new Spider-Man squat down packed with that weird face.
Oh man.
I like yeah.
Oh,
I don't know.
man.
I'm kind of at a loss. Other
Bro,
than
do you
that
want to
though.
gush about your favorite superhero for a while? I just went on a whole tangent.
Oh, thank you for the posture check. You know me, I don't really do favorites too much. I started reading the Hawkman series for a little bit. I found that really interesting.
Okay.
I uh I wanted to. I mean, I've always been a big fan of Iceman, Bobby Drake.
Of
Uh,
course, you would pick the Omega level meme.
Yo, you know what's funny is before I knew what Omega Level was, I was always a huge fan of his because one of my biggest thing was like, I I I would like to be able to resolve conflict non-violently. And Iceman has the ability to be incredibly violent, or he could just encase you in a block of ice and suffocate you, so you're no longer a problem, right?
Oh, that's
Like,
a good question from Meowster. Top five.
uh, hell yeah, yeah. If we find out that you put it out and you did not reach out to us to give us a sneak peek, we're suing because we have proof now. This is a verbal contract. Uh-oh.
Do you have a top five, or is it just like random
Uh,
characters that you enjoy?
some characters I enjoy at in what universes because I mean
Let's stick within the comic book
and
realm
this
right
is
now.
and this is gonna be a question for everybody. Everybody, yeah, five characters uh, 5 characters that you enjoy immensely. And it could be just their powers, it could be their personality, it could be any mixture. Um,
Uh, you want to
Iceman,
start it
like I
off?
said,
Iceman.
I've
Okay.
always enjoyed. Uh,
All right.
I feel like you might have a more fleshed out list, and I wanna think.
Oh, my list is ready.
It's
Whenever you're done, you let me know.
top 5 characters: Spider-Man, 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 Spider-Man. Why? Because he spits hot web. Let's go.
Nah, it's gonna be Spider Man. It's gonna be Scarlet Spider Man. It's gonna be Miles Morales, and it's
It's gonna be Spider-Man 2099. What is it? Patrick O'Doherty?
Miguel O'Hara,
Miguel O'Hara. There you go. Ooh,
Spider Punk, Hobie Brown. Like I just go around the whole list of different Spider people.
oh my god.
I named the OGs. I even named Spider Gwen, Penny Parker, and the Bot. Fucking
Yo,
Spider Man Noir.
yo, seriously.
Nah, no, I actually have a top 5 of like different heroes. I'm being facetious.
I again, I don't have a ton of preferences. You go ahead, get started, and I will tell you.
Okay. So top 5 is this is an ever changing list. Spider Man, number 1, of course.
Of
Can I
course,
not
of
do this
course.
in order? Can it just be
Yeah,
5?
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to do it in
Yeah.
order.
There's no order. No. We're not ranking here. All right. We love all these characters more or less equally, just like your parents
Nightcrawler
do.
is up there.
Nightcrawler, yeah, is bananas. I agree.
Love Nightcrawler. Um, I want to say Flash. I really like Flash. I want to give
Flash
DC
is
some love.
yeah.
I do love Flash. Mostly the Flashpoint
Yeah.
storyline is what did it for me.
I feel like you
But
you very much enjoy quick, quippy characters.
I do. I very much do. Um, let's see. Those are 3. I want to put somebody more on like the aggressive side. So I'm gonna throw Wolverine in there. I do like Wolverine.
Wolverine is lit. Yeah.
Wolverine is lit. And we're looking at 3 Marvel and 1 DC, so I want to round it out with 1 more DC. Which is hard. Green Lantern, Jon Stewart specifically.
Yeah. You've always been a fan. I feel like
Yep.
that's always been big. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I was hoping you would take longer because I'm looking through. Because I
Well, let's
like,
see what else's.
huh?
What,
Yeah.
what,
Oh yeah.
what we
Let's
got,
read off
guys?
of someone else's.
Let's see those
Yeah.
top 5s, guys.
Yeah. Okay,
I know we're
we
gonna
got
see
every
Spider Man on one
Spider-Man.
of them.
Yeah. Um, I know for a fact Iceman is on my list. And I'm not talking about the UFC fighter. Um,
X-23 is a good
yeah,
choice.
X-23 is bananas.
X-23,
Yeah,
you see? Yeah, X-23
they're
is good.
they're bananas.
X-23 is dope. I do like. I
Yo,
can't lie. I liked what they did with X-23 and Logan.
I liked Rogue for a long time.
Rogue is a good one. Rogue is a good one.
I really did like Rogue. I hate my like. I mean, there's a lot of X-Men, but Storm also.
Storm is number 6 for me. If I had to get, if it was a top 10, Storm would be like
Yeah,
right
I get that.
right there. I love Storm.
I on the DC side, someone that's not a hero that I think is a really interesting character, and also we share a name, Lobo.
Nice.
He's like just in general, he's bananas. Like he's
He's
a
OP.
bounty hunter. Fucking yeah, it's ridiculous.
Daredevil's good.
Daredevil is
Daredevil's good.
fantastic.
Can I make a quick switch? I'm gonna switch out Wolverine for somebody.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm switching out
Like you don't want to do
Wolverine.
like an honorable mention. He's like, no, fuck,
No,
fuck
full
Wolverine,
switch.
fuck Wolverine.
Wolverine's cool, but no. Switching out Wolverine for Black Panther.
Ooh, let's go, King T'Challa.
Because, bro, I can't even lie. Like, I love Black Panther. I thought the concept was really cool. I didn't know much about him. Then the
Yeah.
movie came out, and then I did my due diligence and went back to the comics and actually read the comic run where he married Storm.
Yeah,
Black Panther is awesome.
yeah.
He's so good.
He's crazy. It's great.
And
Um,
he's more rich than Bruce Wayne. I just want to throw that out there.
yeah, he's literally the ruler of an entire. Is he more rich than Doctor Doom?
I want to say yes because he has such a valuable resource associated to his city.
I want to agree with you,
Be
but I
if he
haven't
were
done
to
the research.
sell, if he were to sell a, I won't give like an arbitrary, very small fraction, a 50th of the vibranium they have, I think he would
Yo,
take a percentage of the world's wealth.
yeah, 100%. Honestly, Otaku, I was thinking of Spawn. Like I was gonna say Spawn for
Spawn
one
is
of mine. Yeah,
good.
but I'm only down to one left, so I'm trying to be conservative. See, this is the problem. This is why I don't pick favorites because there are so many. Yo, you know what? Hold on. I'm about to kill these. Hold on.
Bro, I wouldn't throw Silver Surfer is an honorable mention for me. The Silver Surfer is so freaking cool.
Bro, Franklin Richards.
See, that's
It not like not for his power, just for the story around it, because that thing is it's a bananas story.
his. I'm Frankie Richards is so damn powerful.
Yeah, he is.
Frankie Richards is too powerful.
Yeah, true.
Frank-
Yo, yeah.
Flashpoint Batman is fire. Thomas Wayne Batman was really dope. He used guns. That was really cool.
That's pretty sick.
What is it? Oh man, Franklin, you really put it in my head with Franklin Richards. He is so powerful. If we were to sit here and make like a top 5 like most powerful comic book heroes, he'd definitely be in my top 5.
Yeah.
He won the Celestial.
Yeah, I actually I was watching there's a YouTuber or a YouTube channel called Comics Explained that I like.
Yeah, I watched them too.
I check out every once in a while, and he was talking about like the whole story behind Franklin Richards, and bananas, honestly.
Oh, there was a picture. I don't know where it came from. It was a picture, and it was almost like they made it seem like they were throwing back to the 50s, and it was just like pictures of all these comic book characters in like casual settings.
Oh,
And it was Hulk holding like baby Franklin Richards, and Hulk was like looking at him like he was trying to figure out what he was. And Franklin, being a baby, was doing the same thing back to the Hulk. So it's literally just a picture of them staring at each other, and the caption was, "One of the most powerful and destructive forces in the universe,
and the Hulk." Yeah. Like, yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, Flashpoint Batman was fire. I like the red in his suit was really cool. The guns were also a great choice.
Just a side note when it comes to these characters and me seeing the plus guns, Ralph and I used to play what was the DC versus Mortal Kombat game? Injustice.
Oh, Injustice Gods Among Us.
Man, and this guy with his red hood would not let up. My gosh, the combos. He would sit there and look at me and just be like, "Yo, you want to play?" Like, I don't want to lose, but I want to play.
Your Sub-Zero was serious after some time.
The Sub-Zero was all right. Yo, actually, technically, aren't they part of DC now?
Mortal Kombat.
So I could say Sub-Zero.
Yes. Sub-Zero is my favorite DC character. What? No, it was Injustice 2. We weren't playing the original Injustice. It was Injustice 2 that I had because that one had Red Hood.
I mained Blue Beetle, Green Arrow, and Sub-Zero were my 3.
Your Blue Beetle was serious too.
It was alright. It was getting there. There were a couple fun things.
My mains were Red Hood, Swamp Thing. I don't know if you remember my Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
And I did mess with Catwoman for a little bit.
Yeah, she had the capoeira type.
Oh, he got kicked out.
Oh,
What was it?
I said Franklin Richards just because the story behind him is bananas, and Ralph disassociated for a moment because Franklin Richards is like the most powerful mutant.
Literally, honestly, like he's way too powerful. His sister's
He's
powerful too, but there's
in
no way.
what is it? He only exists, or he only existed in one timeline where he was the son of
Um,
Sue Storm and Franklin Richards. Is that
and
what it was?
Franklin with it.
Sorry, and Reed Richards.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think I don't know too much. I know enough about Franklin Richards, but I know there's like a lot of like universe esque things. I know like when he first appeared in the comics, he wanted to be an adult when he was a baby, so he grew himself into an adult body. Like it's a lot of crazy stuff.
the
Uh,
yeah, Reed and Sue. And then
um, it's funny because I find it hilarious. The Fantastic Four was the original like comic book family, but they cannot get them right on the big screen, I think.
yeah, I feel like you hear that a lot.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the MCU trying it. I hope they get it right. I hope they take their
Oh,
time with it and figure it out.
you
Hopefully.
all right? My
Yeah,
gosh, that
that
scared
was,
the hell out of me.
was a hiccup in the middle of me talking.
I thought you were beatboxing for a second there. It's like, oh my god.
I am not Biz Markie, R.I.P.
Ooh, rest in
So,
peace to the god.
young God. But yeah, nah, there's so much weird stuff with comics, bro. There's so
I,
much
I
weird stuff
I
like that.
really enjoy that. I feel like it gives us more leeway when we're
Yep.
creating our universe, really,
Oh yeah,
because
because we've
things can be
seen.
funky. We can decide the layouts. We can decide how we want to tell the story. It's up to us, really, to
Can
ensure
I
that the
talk
stories
about?
are compelling.
Can I talk about a tool that's used in storylines that I don't like?
Sure.
Don't like time travel. Don't
Yeah,
like it.
you've told me this
Don't like it.
before. That's why
I
I almost mentioned the character. But yeah, we keep it locked up, don't we,
no,
Ralph?
we're gonna
We
keep it
keep it
locked
locked
up.
up, don't we, Ralph? It
We're
it
not gonna talk
stays
about
it
our
stays in
characters.
its room.
We talk about the
Uh,
characters that already have IPs, not the ones that
eh.
don't have them yet. But yo, I can't stand. I don't like time travel. One, because there are multiple different ways to do it. You could do the whole, if you mess around with time, you branch off another dimension, or you could do the whole course correction thing where if you play with something in time just adjusts to whatever you messed with. But there's that. Those two main theories. A bunch of other theories about how time works. There's the Deus Ex Machina of it, honestly,
Yeah.
because if you introduce time travel, especially if you're using it as a way of solving a problem, it's such a Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah.
Like I predicted that after Infinity War. I was like, how would they fix this besides time travel? I
Time
said that
travel.
after Infinity War. I was like, how could they fix this besides time travel? And then we watched the Endgame, freaking time travel.
Yep.
Spoilers, I'm sorry. Anyone who hasn't watched Endgame.
There you go.
Freaking time
All
travel.
the
I was like,
spoilers.
really? Really? Like, oh, you watch Comics Explained, and we discussed it before. Remember the Matthew Malloy thing that he talked about?
I think so. Not in detail.
Well, I'll break it down for the people who watch him because you guys may not know who Matthew Malloy is. Matthew Malloy is one of the most powerful mutants that ever was introduced in X-Men. He just had the power to channel energies from another dimension, and he could just do so much with it. And he was just ridiculously powerful. And the whole of X-Men were trying to stop him. I think he killed all of them, like the main X-Men group. So what Charles did, and I did not like this because it was such a Deus Ex Machina way to solve the issue. He had a mutant named Temporal. I think her name was Temporal. She can make bubbles and like bring people back in time. So Charles did the simplest thing to solve a problem. He literally went back in time to when Matthew's parents were in college and used his abilities to keep them from meeting each other.
That's cheap.
I was like, really? This is how we're solving this problem? Like this is just the Deus Ex Machina that bothers me so much.
Yeah, yeah, that's not. I'm not a fan of that. It feels like but all right. So I feel like you know me. I think of the duality of it all, right? So
Yeah,
they have to think of a way to cleanly like get rid of this character without like completely breaking everything else or introducing another character that would break the rest of the story. So
yeah.
I feel like the writers pretty much put themselves in a bind with creating a character like that or allowing the character to grow that way within the story. Because even if he was super powerful, if they led him on a different path,
Mhm.
that could have been maybe just as interesting or compelling
Yeah.
without putting the fabric or the rules of the world that they had created in danger. Uh, and I feel like eventually they wrote them like when you do stuff like that, you end up writing yourself into a corner where you have to resort to poor storytelling to be able to continue actually telling the story.
Because it's fun and very easy as a writer to create problems for your characters. That's
Yeah,
one of the easiest things to do, and then
yeah,
to just ramp them up and ramp them up and ramp them up, and to the point where your character does is just stressed and doesn't know what to do. It's a very compelling thing to read as a reader because it's like, oh, look at this character who's going through rough things. It's getting worse and worse and
yeah.
worse.
But I think
Like then
without
you're
foresight,
yeah.
you're doing yourself a disservice.
You are, because then you get to a point where your character doesn't know what to do. But if your character is well written enough, there may not really be anything for
Yeah,
them to do. Because it'll either be the reader saying, "Damn, there's nothing for them to do," or yelling at them like, "Here's what you can do to solve the problem. Why
yeah,
haven't you fucking done it yet?"
yeah,
So yeah, when you write yourself into a corner like that, and then you have to pull some Deus Ex Machina nonsense to solve the issue, it really just deflates whatever happened before that. Like
yeah.
it could have been such good writing getting them into this issue, but if you don't land it, it kind of just it doesn't feel clean to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I completely I agree with that. Wow.
Like but what is it? Freaking Rick and Morty does that. But they do it in a comedic fashion so it's okay. Like they'll
Yeah.
ruin everything and then be like, "All right, we're going to another
All
dimension."
right. Get Come on, get over it, Morty. I can't do the voice right now. But yeah, I think that's one of the things where the I want the consequences of our characters.
Oh, Deus Ex Machina?
It's like for the
You
it's like the
you want
Ghost in
to
the
get never mind.
Machine. It's like just pulling a god move and being like, we're gonna remove that from the equation.
What's a good example of a Deus Ex Machina news in like popular media?
Ooh,
Can you think of one?
I I I don't know
Kind of
honestly.
like a fancy retcon. I'm trying to think. Okay, so like let's say a character is just in a very very terrible situation that they have no way of getting out of, and just out of nowhere, like a stronger character that didn't even know him just pops in and
Yeah,
annihilates who's causing the problem. It's like,
yeah, yeah,
hey, I somehow knew you were in trouble and somehow came at the last second to save you.
yeah. Where they just conflict is happening and they're like, hey, you don't know me. I'm gonna take care of this for you. Just wipe and then they disappear. And like everything that was wrong is perfectly fine now. There's no
Yeah,
issues
that's probably
anymore.
what.
And it's like we were in the middle of like a really big fight. Like what but
Or Deus
everything's
Ex
fine
Machina
now.
could be a character gaining a new ability.
Uh
If
it, it's
back and forth. If it's not done well, then it's a Deus Ex Machina. If it's done well, then it's a character moment. It's a very thin line.
So if you introduce a character ability that there's no indication that they would ever achieve or get to, and it
Yeah.
instantly like fixes the issue that they're currently dealing with, that's a Deus Ex Machina. As opposed to like they're expanding an ability that they had some capability of, and it doesn't immediately just wipe their issue. It helps them with it, but it doesn't just, like it's not a far-fetched solution to their problem. That I would
Hmm.
say is more character development than anything else.
Yeah, like a good two examples. One example of something that helped but wasn't what we were discussing is, remember the movie Sky High?
Yes, love Sky High.
So they had already mentioned he has genes from his dad and his mom, and the possibility of him having both powers was always there.
Yeah.
So when it happened, we were like, "Oh, that's so cool!" Not, "Oh, really?"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because the possibility was always there. Another good example, harking back to Naruto, Sasuke, when he first like discovered his Sharingan, he was in a fight and it was
Yeah.
not going well.
Yeah.
Sharingan popped up, didn't get him the win, but made him more of a contender in the fight.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of stuff that becomes character moments versus Dr. X going back in time and keeping two people from meeting.
Yeah. Like, hey man, as he psychically castrated his dad. He's like, you just can't get hard today. You don't know what it is.
No,
You
I find
can't
it
do.
so funny they showed it. Like it was like the two of them were about to run into each other on the college campus, and he just deterred them
My
in
God.
different directions.
He cast prestidigitation, made a really bad smell right there. Like they turned and walked a different way. Oh God, what's that smell? All right. This has been beautiful, and of course, I just completed our bingo board. We had our D&D reference for the day. Uh,
We did D&D references, we did comic book references, we did movie, anime references. This was a nerdy
yeah,
ass
yeah,
stream.
we're out here, gang. We appreciate all of you stopping by. Hey, today was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Maybe the next time we stream, we'll have a topic. And even if we do, we'll probably jump from topic to topic because that's our shit.
I feel like
Um,
we had our topic this stream, like story, whether
yeah,
it be
yeah,
anime, comics, or our story, or
yeah.
story in general. Yeah.
Facts, big facts. Uh, Again, I just want to say thank you all for coming. I love you. Love yourselves. Be kind to each other. You never know what somebody else is going through, and a smile can do a lot for somebody. That being said, have an amazing day. Thanks for coming. Peace.